Imagine this: a 63-year-old woman, full of life, vibrant, alert, lying in her bed, not sick, not alone but untouched. Not because she wants it that way, but because society has whispered in her ear for decades. At your age, desire is no longer for you. Her body still feels, her mind is sharp, her heart still beats, but the fire inside her has been told it has no place. Millions of people in their 50s, 60s, and early 70s live like shadows. Touch, intimacy, desire, those things that make life meaningful, are suddenly treated as shameful, inappropriate, or unnecessary. Carl Jung once warned that what we don't acknowledge consciously ends up shaping our destiny. Ignoring sexuality in later life doesn't make it disappear. It seeps into emptiness, loneliness, and quiet suffering. Wrinkles do not kill. Time does not kill. But cutting oneself off from desire, connection, and intimacy slowly erodes the soul. We've been sold an idea that passion is only for the young. Advertisements, movies, and even casual conversations reinforce it. Youth is sexy. Age is practical. But desire is not a product of age. Desire is a pulse of life. It lives in the mind, the body, the heart, and the soul. When denied, it doesn't vanish. It transforms into restlessness, irritability, insomnia, or even depression. Consider the life of Robert, a 65-year-old retired teacher. He has no health problems, a loving spouse, and plenty of friends. Yet for years, he's felt an inner chill. Not because he's lost the ability to love or feel attraction, but because he stopped acknowledging that part of himself. He stopped letting desire have a voice. And slowly, day by day, he noticed that his laughter had grown quieter, his shoulders heavier, his eyes dimmer. This is the invisible danger many face. Sexuality in later life is not about a mechanical act. It is about connection, about being seen, about feeling alive in a world that often treats older adults like background props. Sexual energy is not just biological. It is a manifestation of life force itself. In Eastern traditions, this energy, called ki or kundalini, is a current flowing through the entire body, nourishing not only lust, but mental clarity, health, and spiritual awareness. Sigmund Freud called it libido, the driving force behind love, creativity, will, and the urge to live. When desire is cut off, the will to create, to connect, to experience deeply, often fades. In a culture that idealizes youth and minimizes older adulthood, this unspoken neglect can make people feel powerless, sparkleless, and invisible, not because of their age, but because they've been conditioned to forget that passion is timeless. Let's be honest, few people talk about this. It's easier to discuss finances, retirement plans, or health problems than the truth about intimacy in later life. But here's the inconvenient truth. Desire is not a luxury. It is part of what makes life vibrant. Without touch, without tenderness, without playful intimacy, the soul grows lonely. Emotional connection is not optional. It is as essential as air, water, and nourishment. Studies show that physical touch activates brain regions associated with trust, well-being, and self-esteem. A hug, a gentle hand on the shoulder, a shared smile, these small gestures of intimacy are essential. Some people think, I don't need sex anymore. That part of life is over. But sexual silence isn't always a choice. It's often a quiet surrender to fear, shame, or societal expectation. And when desire is suppressed rather than transformed, the body and soul pay the price. Suppressed erotic energy can become tension, irritability, insomnia, or even chronic pain without clear cause. The body calls out for what the soul refuses to express. Jung believed that repressed desire never truly disappears. It seeks a way to speak, often through symptoms or emotional unrest. Yet, there is hope. Sexuality in later life is not about chasing youth or obsession with the body. It's about conscious connection. It's about acknowledging the pulse of life within yourself and others. It can be found in art, music, writing, caring for loved ones, or simply allowing yourself to truly feel your own presence. Consider Mary, a 62-year-old painter. She no longer experiences passion the way she did in her 20s, but she has learned to channel that energy into her art. Every brushstroke, every color, every movement is alive with desire, not for a partner, not for physical gratification, but as a celebration of being alive. Her life is erotic, not in the conventional sense, but in the truest sense of the word, full of vitality, connection, and intensity. The erotic doesn't vanish with age. It transforms. Jung emphasized that energy, when not denied, finds expression in new forms. Desire can become creativity, deep conversation, tender care, or meaningful presence. Imagine a 64-year-old couple walking hand in hand at sunset. No need for nudity, no need for explicit sexual acts. Their fingers entwined, their eyes locked, their souls recognizing each other. This is eroticism in its highest form. It's a language of intimacy that transcends the body. Sexuality is also deeply spiritual. For centuries, mystics and sages misunderstood the body and pleasure, claiming that enlightenment required denying desire. But true spiritual wisdom understands the body as a temple, pleasure as a doorway, and sexuality as a sacred embodied prayer. In the sexual act, when approached with awareness, love, and presence, the ego dissolves, leaving only connection, openness, and life itself. As the body ages, these experiences can grow even more intense. There's less hurry, less distraction, more awareness of the smallest touch. A single kiss, a gentle hand, a shared gaze, these moments become sacraments, echoes of devotion, and reminders that life is not over. But when desire is abandoned out of fear, guilt, or shame, a bridge between body and soul is lost. Life grows colder. Creativity freezes. Emotional vibrancy diminishes. And the most dangerous consequence, people begin to fade from themselves before they fade from the world. Yet, it doesn't have to be this way. You can choose to transform desire. You can choose to redirect it into art, words, touch, and presence. You can choose to keep your inner fire alive. Even if your body no longer reacts as it once did, your soul can still burn bright. Some people consciously decide to step away from sexual activity in later life, not out of fear, not out of societal pressure, but from a place of quiet awareness. In them, desire does not die, it transforms. They cultivate presence, mindfulness, and intention. Their fire burns more quietly, yes, but it continues to shine, like the sea retreating to gather strength before returning in full force. If you are in your 60s or 70s and feel your desire waning, ask yourself, is this a quiet resignation or a conscious transformation? Is there sadness in your abstinence or freedom? If there is sadness, there may be repressed desire part of you still longing to be touched, seen, acknowledged. If there is freedom, then your desire has found another expression, perhaps more subtle, but no less vital. Remember, the soul has its own eroticism. Often, the deepest, most intimate moments don't occur in bed, but in presence. Recognition, shared silence, or a look that says, I see you. I feel you. You matter. The wise fear not age. They fear living without tenderness, without connection, without vitality. It's not wrinkles that extinguish life. It's forgetting the inner fire that never needed permission to burn. Sexuality in later life is not a duty. It is a celebration. Neglecting it, whether physical, emotional, or symbolic, is self-abandonment. It is declaring yourself old prematurely, losing the chance to keep vibrating, to keep feeling, to keep living fully. Do you ever wonder what happens when physical intimacy fades from your life? As long as something inside you still wants to feel a hug, a smile, a memory, you are alive. Your body might change, but your soul can still dance. The fire doesn't go out. It just changes shape. So if that part of your life has paused, don't beat yourself up. Instead, ask yourself, are you still connecting with the souls of those you love? Are you letting them connect with yours? That connection is what keeps life vibrant. Your energy can flow into art, music, laughter, or simple, conscious tenderness. Desire isn't just for the young, it's a life force. When you honor it, it transforms into wisdom, playfulness, and vitality. Life doesn't end with age, and desire doesn't die with wrinkles. Keep feeling, keep connecting, keep being present. Your soul can stay incandescent. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more.